Hi, I'm Roger with Consort, and today I want to talk about the banding tool, the 3/4 inch banding, and what we call the D3 casting. Pretty much everything I'm going to talk about is in the banding hardware guidebook and also in the instructions on the banding tool. Now, first of all, the D3 casting is the bigger casting. That's this one. Typically goes on the light bulb, and it's typically higher in the air than in my lobby. But here's one that's already been put together. It's already been banded. The buckle is back there. I'm going to show you more about that. But first, let's say I want to show you the tool. The banding tool is probably something you've never seen before, or if you've seen it before, you wondered, how does that thing work? Well, I want to show you, first of all, it does cut the banding, and this is that heavy-duty 3/4 inch banding. The tool has a place to cut. You open up this lever here, you leave this lever down, and you put the banding in the pathway. I call that the pathway. And this stuff is very tough, so it likes to talk back to you. You keep that tight, you pull that, and that cuts the band. Then you lift up on that, and that opens up the banding. Okay, this is a typical banding reel, something like that. You measure out about what you want to use. You'll see with the banding hardware guidebook that for the bigger banner, you would go twice around the pole and have a little extra. And the reason we go twice around the pole is that's about more than twice the strength of a single wrap of banding. Now the first thing we do is we want to put the buckle, that's this, onto the band. And there's little teeth there. We call those little alligator teeth. You would feed the alligator. So you put that in there like that, and you bend it down like I've done on this end. Bend it down like that. And then what I like to do is take a hammer and get a solid surface and bend the band even further so that it is real tight to the buckle. Okay, so this one that's already on the pole is already wrapped around the buckle twice, and I'll show you what that actually means. Is you've got, it goes through one time, like that, and so that's this way, you can see that, and it goes around one more time through the buckle before it's clamped. That's what we mean by double wrapping the banding. Okay, now to band that, first of all, I like to get the casting positioned on the pole so it stays there while I'm working. I like to use a little duct tape, easy to do. And then, once I've got that around there, I've got the banding through the little alligator clips, that's when we start the tool again. We open up this lever like that. We put the banding into the channel or the tunnel. Again, this is not the easiest thing to work with, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. Okay, you put that all the way up to the teeth, bring that down, and then that's where, get that out of the way, and it simply make sure that this is all the way out to the end of the threads, and then you simply turn the lever. And so the question is, how tight do you make that? Well, you make that as tightly as you possibly can without breaking. Now this tool is a very strong tool, and the banding is very strong, but this tool will break the banding if there's too much tension. So you have to kind of get used to how you do that. There's a little trick I learned from the banding company about 30 years ago. There's a little logos, there's writing on the banding, and the banding has a certain sheen to it. So when you bring this around, you try to watch the logos until they don't really want to move through the buckle anymore. In other words, they're being stretched. And you'll see that the banding itself, the sheen just kind of goes away a little. And so I've got it about there now. And then the next trick, and kind of watch this carefully, is that when I bring the tool around, I want to turn this crank just a little bit as I come around, oh, I'm sorry, this is in the lobby, so it's not necessarily in the concrete. As I come around, that releases some of the tension. Okay, once we got it to that point where it's going to stay by itself, then we do the magic of the cutting the band, which is what I described before. That's that. We take a hammer, we hammer that back, and then we take these ears and we hammer those down as well. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's how that works. And of course, then you can take that off an hour later. What we do is we put the arm into the casting, and what I like to do is I'll tighten this down. I'll put it about midway, and I'll tighten these down so that when I get down to the bottom bracket, I might have to come back up and adjust. It just kind of depends on how, if your banners are sewn all the same length or not. Ours always are, but sometimes others are not. So now the next thing is to put the banner on there. I personally like to put it all the way up on the casting. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that. And then the best thing that we found to attach the banner to the casting is an 18 gauge galvanized wire. We don't use the plastic zip ties because they tend to, through prevailing winds, tend to break with the sharp casting edge. So we take the galvanized wire, put it through the grommet, put that up there. Again, I like to put it on the casting, but that's up to you. And twist that, and obviously get those out of the way because they don't want to be hitting the canvas. You can trim those if you like, or just leave them. But that essentially is what holds the banner on there. And that's class 101 in banding. Thank you.